Today we are going to talk about changes because, as we all know, change is something that happens all the time. And at this point in our lives, we are beginning to see things starting to change. We are starting to see around us the world will eventually open up again from the pandemic, but we don't have the details. And it may cause you to feel somewhat uneasy or afraid. I know it does for me. An example is recently I went to get my vaccination and it was at the fairgrounds. And I haven't been out to drive on the main highways for over a year, and I felt anxious about that. I didn't necessarily feel anxious about the vaccination, but I felt anxious about driving to the fairgrounds. I needed to find a way to be able to move through into something new, but I needed some help. And so today I want to talk about finding our way through changes, navigating our way into new things. What I did was I began to think about ways I could make this work. I thought, I tried to get a vaccination nearby me, but there were none available. And then I began to understand that I needed to ask for help. And I think this is a really important part of working through changes, asking for help. And I talked to one friend and I said, I'm going to get my vaccination. It's at the fairgrounds. Do you know anyone who would be willing to drive me? They would need to be somebody who was aware of social distancing, driving with the windows down. I had not had any vaccination before that. And pretty soon I got a call from a person who said, I would be happy to take you. And it was so smooth and so easy and wonderful. But even in the morning when I was getting ready to go, I felt scared and anxious. I hadn't been around a lot of people for a very long time. Now, I know there's some people here who have been out and around. They go out to do different activities and things like that. That has not been my case. I've been staying safe at home pretty much during this time. I do have the luxury of teaching over the internet, so that's been really good. But I have not been to restaurants. I have not been out hiking or doing a lot of activities. And so for me, the change was being out and around other people. I'm really glad to bring up this subject because I've had so many people say to me, I feel nervous about, and what they're really talking about is reemerging in a world that's changed. Going out and being a part of a world that is no longer what it used to be. And different people having different ideas. And sometimes there's conflict and sometimes there's, a hassle. And so there's a lot of things which we once could just sail through, but we might feel anxious about doing now. First of all, I want to say everybody feels anxious about some things. I don't believe there's anybody who doesn't feel anxious about some aspect of life or another. People feel anxious about their work or what they're going to be doing 6 months from now. Will they be able to go on vacation? Will they be able to fly? Will they be able to drive? Will they be able to be reunited with people that they haven't seen for a long time? And when that happens, what does that look like? We are all moving through a time of change. There was a time when my little birds, the doves that sit in my backyard, when one came last March, one came and I said to that little dove, I said, it's so good to have you here. Please bring your friends. Well, now I have probably over 30 doves who come every morning to feast out of a tray of bird food that I put out for them. They are safe in my yard. They know the territory and they show up very happy to be a part of what's going on. They usually come at the same time, about 7 o'clock every morning. And now other little songbirds and other birds, including a woodpecker, have joined them. But the doves have come to a place now where they felt safe, but they didn't always feel safe. It was a growing, learning type of a thing. And I think that's a really important lesson for all of us, that coming into a place of safety and feeling safe and feeling comfortable, we will get there, but it's not going to happen instantly. And we will help each other. We will talk about this. We will grow together. We will listen when one person expresses their fears, and we will listen with compassion. If someone had said to me when I expressed my concern about going to the fairgrounds and driving on the main roads, if somebody had said to me, "Oh, Annie, that's so stupid. How come you're such a big chicken?" I probably wouldn't have had the courage to ask for help. I would have just felt that shame. But this is not a time of shame. It is not a time of condemnation. It is not a time of belittling. This is a wonderful opportunity for all of us to walk beside one another and to help one another as we move through changes. What for one person may seem easy, for another person would not. What for one person may be indeed a walk in the park, for another person, it may cause them not to be able to sleep at night. And it's really important that we extend this compassion towards one another. So as we walk through this time of great change, and we don't know if it will be within the next week, 2 weeks, 6 months, we don't know the timing either. It's a great time to offer compassion to one another. And this is also a great time to offer compassion towards ourselves. Think about something that you attempted to do that you felt really afraid. Was it taking on a new job? Was it changing your hairstyle? Was it trying to eat a new food? Or maybe it was doing something like writing an article or standing up and doing a performance that you felt afraid to do. And yet, baby step by baby step, you moved forward to accomplish this. This is what we are doing now, only in a much bigger, huger way. And I want to say right now that we have all been so courageous to live through this time. We have all shown so much courage to live through this time. And we are going to continue to be courageous. And we will take it a baby step at a time, helping one another. You are never alone in change. You are never by yourself. There are others who stand beside us to help. So as we move through these changes, I want to encourage all of us to look around you and know that there are those who will help you. There are those who will come along and be a blessing. There are those who will also say to you, "I'm feeling a little anxious about this too." And that will make you feel so much better because you're not sticking out like a sore thumb. You are part of all that is going on. And so, dear ones, I encourage us all to treat ourselves with great kindness, to be honest, and as we walk forward, know that we walk together.